Now, as Kate mentioned, the market didn't mind Rio's effort at all. Its share price jumped despite the sliding profit. Here's Rio chief Tom Albanese looking forwards rather than backwards.
I was in China just a month ago. There is quite an effort within policymakers, planners in China to kick in a number of stimulus efforts, about 500 projects in total, that we would expect to start affecting real demand, toward the end of this year. Now, again, it's not going to be anywhere near like the stimulus we saw in 2009. But for our business, we do think it's going to be lifting some of the fortunes of some of our products.
Stephen, how do you see the macro environment that Rio is operating in?
It's a wonderful snapshot of what the policymakers are looking at for the economy at the moment, because the interesting thing about Rio's results were a big increase in volumes, so they're producing lots of the minerals and raw materials that are being exported to China and elsewhere in the world, but the price is falling. And that's exactly what we're seeing in the RBA statements of the past week, that the terms of trade are falling, that free income boost that we got from very high commodity prices is starting to wane a little bit, but the volumes are still very strong. So in a sense, it's like the real economy is strong, but the prices and deflators and disinflation is coming through, and that's shown up in the Rio prices as well.
Peter, are the investors switching out of these resources stocks into defensives, or are they still there?
That has occurred, Alan. I mean, I think the big change with Rio, well, not the change, is that it is so dominant now in iron ore that is the very big important part of the group now. I mean, aluminium's a basket case. It's in trouble, it's loss-making. It's not as diversified as it was, Rio, and the iron ore price is critical to it. The market has reacted well to the result from a low base, but it's still spent a lot of cash during the period. So, what I think is important there, again, undoubtedly is, what happens in China, but particularly what happens to the iron ore price going forward.
It is interesting that it is almost 90%. If not 90% iron ore. It's basically an iron ore company.
Yeah,
now.
and the iron ore prices have gone from $180 last year to about $116.
That's right. That's exactly right. So it's not a diversified miner to the true sense anymore, and that's critical to the group going forward.
And it's interesting that he's, hitching his wagon that China's going to pick up towards the end of the year, and he's committing to the $16 billion of projects, when some of his competitors are sort of waxing and waning about whether they're going to pull back.
The data flow this week on the Chinese economy was actually quite subdued. Soft inflation, soft industrial production, disappointing trade numbers during the course of the week from China. So in a sense, that's a concern that we haven't found a bottom yet. We're all hoping.
Well, the iron ore price is not going to go suddenly back up again.
No, you need China to grow, to accelerate, I should say, rather than decelerate. And at the moment, just about every indicator I've seen on China is decelerating, not turning.